Taste the rainbow. Custom wood burning. Flora D, how are you? Welcome in. Big Sis 71, hello. I love your picture. Hi, Sarah. Nisha, hello, hello. Babs, needful things. I like that. Tell me more. I want to learn more. Nietzsche, what's up? Hello, Angela. McCallamarie. McCallamarie. That sounds very Irish. I love it. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome to Monday evening seller chat. Yay! I'm so glad. Everyone, please follow Custom Wood Burning. Friend of the Forest, Mamarazzi. Hello, 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 hello. I'm wearing green, and I got the green glasses on. Trying to make sure I'm doing the thing. Reptile guy, what's up? You get to put all your green reptiles in today, and it's like you're celebrating reptiles and St. Patrick's Day all at the same time. Except that St. Patrick did chase away the snakes. So that might not go with the reptile narrative, I guess. But hello, how are you? Shauna's Treasures in Art is here. Hello. Hi, Mamarazzi. How are you doing? There they are. There's all the snakes and lizards. Thank you, Reptile Guy. Hello. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Is anyone going out for green beer or made green soda bread or anything? Did I get the beta email? Your girl doesn't look at her email very often. God, what's the beta for this time? Oh, whatnot. No, I didn't. Yeah, you shouldn't expose, but because shh. But no. Tell me more in a DM. Tell me. Shh. Shh. Don't tell me in a DM. Yeah. But yeah, no. Maybe I was too much of a pain in the butt in the last one, Indiana. It probably was that. I was too much of a pain in the rear end. Hi, Melody. Hi, Border City Thrifts. How are you? Welcome in. So you're feel free to share your shows. If you have questions, ask them. Thank you, Sandra. I'm going to pack like, I don't know how many glasses I'm going to pack. I'm going to pack a ton of glasses. Thrifty Gypsy and Cindy. Hello, how are you? How are things in your world? All right, hang on. Gotta go. Minimize show. Yes, Thrifty Gift is next week. Your girl needs to send out that message tonight. I don't have any Guinness glasses. I haven't had Guinness in a long time. Yes, I know, Thrifty Gypsy. On Mondays, I do Monday night shows too, because that was traditionally my shtick was Monday night shows. And then a whole bunch of other people. I'm doing good, Cindy. I hope you're even better than good. Okay, wait, hang on. Activity. I do know how to use this app, honestly. Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. I don't know if I want that, to be honest, Indiana. I like the exchange rate. I like the exchange rate. But anyways. Ooh. Thanks for sharing. Is Thrifty Gift full? I do believe so, but let me double check. Hang on. Sign up genius. Thrifty Gift, if anyone's wondering, Thrifty Gift is my monthly raid train that's about thrifted, used, antiques. Okay, Thursday the 20th. That's perfect. Because we're meeting Mamarazzi, I think around noon, I think you said, Patty. Somewhere around there. I mean, it's not like you have to make the appointment. It's not like we're not going to be there if you're at a different time, because we'll just be in the thrift store. So yeah, I will figure out how to get it to you. I've got to make sure I've got all of your multiple boxes packed, Sandra. So Thrifty Gift is on the 25th of each month. My raid trains are they're small. They're not big. They're not huge raid trains. So a lot of times sellers will start on my raid trains and then they will move on to bigger and better raid trains. So I don't try to pretend in any way that my raid trains are big. And in fact, Leslie from her Reworkers Passion said directly in her show today. She said, "I used to do Kim's Ray Trains, but they're for newer sellers and smaller sellers, and so I don't do them anymore." And $5 on the 5th. I will check. I'm gonna look at Thrift to Gift first. It's all now on Sign Up Genius, so I have to check Sign Up Genius if it'll let me type in the password, because I also have an access code. If I add like a couple of extra steps, what's happening with USPS? Nothing to worry about. Nothing. I know that. So there's been announcements in the US that United States Postal Service is going to be cutting back its staff by 10,000, which I think is still like a fairly small percentage. Oh, congratulations, Catherine Boxes. Tell us more about it. Tell us what you sell. Tell us about how it went. So I wouldn't be too worried yet. Well, it's more that USPS has been asked to reduce its staffing, so they've come up with a early retirement plan. So they're yay, awesome. Thank you so much. I will definitely be able to use those, and I will have a U-Haul truck that I can put them in. Catherine Boxes, I hope I said that right, has big Disney Doorables collections. So just starting off with those, and you're in Canada, a Disney person in Canada. That's so exciting. Disney is huge. Disney is huge. And currently they're doing some sort of Disney thingy, enchantment thingy. I don't know. It's on the top of my screen when I sign in. It looks very exciting. Okay. So there is a spot for Thrift to Gift. There is a spot available. It's only half an hour from 11 a.m. to 11:30 because Ruthie is unwell, and we're sending lots of love to her. And that seems to be it right now. But you can also message me, and I can give you the link so that you can put yourself on the wait list, because I don't have anyone on the wait list for the 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. times to kind of come in. Because what always happens on Ray Trains when you run Ray Trains, if you ever decide you want to run a Ray Train, always expect that there's going to be a couple of people that are going to have to drop out, or something's going to happen. Electrical, power situations, floods, toilet overflows, kids are suddenly not, the babysitter's sick. Like, there's all kinds of things that happen. We've had deaths, sadly. We've had super like broken bones, and we've also had a baby born. We had a baby born in one of our shows. So oh, Thrifty Gypsy needs 7 more followers to reach 500. So let's do it right now. Everybody go and tap on the Thrifty Gypsy and hit follow. Okay, that's 1. And so yeah, and she's offering to follow back, follow for follow. So if everybody could follow the Thrifty Gypsy right there at the bottom of the chat right now, and let's get her to 500. Let's see how close we are now. We are at 493. Come on, everybody, we can do it. We can do it. And yay, look at that. Thank you, Lisa. And thank you to Border City Thrifts also for following. The more the merrier. And Thrifty Gypsy, just keep saying it every once in a while during the show, and let's see if we can get you to 500. So for the 25th of April, I do have spots open for the 25th of April. So message me and I can get you the link to the Thrift to Gift raid train. Again, it's not a big raid train. It's a smaller raid train. My raid trains are not like huge 100 people in the room. That's not me. That's not me. Mine are like introductory, get yourself out there, good experience, build your audience and build your expertise on how to do raid trains, so that when you do get into a bigger raid train. And for $5 on the 5th in April, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 slots open right now. So $5 on the 5th. You can message me and I will send you the link and the code. There's a code. And I change the code every once in a while so that we don't end up with people that we don't want. So yeah, so just send me a message and my healthcare professional app is messaging me nonstop. Yes, I am paying to use an app because I don't want to have to try and drive an hour to get to see a doctor. Gia's Sweet Briar Cottage says time on the 25th because I'm working during the day and I'm Pacific Standard Time. So currently the time that's open is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be 8 a.m. Pacific. And it's only half an hour. Yeah. Thank you, Border City. Did you see the pain in my eye as I tried to like do the math? 8 a.m. or 8:30. Your choice. Capitan Canada, how are you? Numbers are hard. So and also there's a for Canadians, there's a raid train, True North Strong raid train, happens on the 10th of every month. Yeah, Gia's, if just send me a message and I will send you the link because we have other months that are already open. Hello, Afternoon Antico. How are you? Why aren't you modded? I don't understand. I wish, dear Whatnot, I know we've told you this already, but dear Whatnot, I would really like it if we could have like set mods for all shows, that we could just create a list that all these people will be set mods no matter what. Yeah. Angie's this and that. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Angie, you were doing a storage unit show. How exciting. How was it? Showing off all your storage. Hello, everyone. Hello, Salty Roses and Buy Now Shop 59 and Pickles and Van Wert Vintage. And I saw Vintiquity and Jen's Attic Treasures. Hello, hello. Thank you, Angie. Everyone, please follow Angie's This and That, great Canadian seller, and sweetheart too, great human being. And yes, Border City Thrifts, I see that message. I will, when I'm off, I will send you the links. So if you want the links to sign up for my 2 raid trains, they're international raid trains. I don't discriminate. The only time that we say, oh, thank you, Kush and Kylie. I'm friends with Kush now. It's official. It's official because it happened on Facebook, so you know it's real. Yeah. Hi, Salty Roses. Tell us more about you. I haven't seen you before, so welcome in. I don't think I've seen you before. Maybe I have, but I think I would remember Salty Roses because it's a great name. So we were talking about raid trains that are happening. And so if you, and Vintiquity is here. So Vintiquity, if you're able to wave, please wave. Vintiquity does raid trains as well, and she has a great raid train that's coming up. That's Easter and spring and pastels and pretties and bunnies and all the fun stuff. So she can tell you all about that. That's on Sunday, I believe. Sunday is a great raid train. So definitely everyone who's in that raid train, give a wave and let everyone know so that they can bookmark your shows and follow you. I know it's going to be so much fun. I'm going to be watching. Hi, Heart-Centered Soul. How are you? So if you have questions about selling, don't hesitate to ask a question. And for those who are on YouTube and Twitch, hello. I'm glad you're here. I apologize, but the chat on Whatnot is so busy that I don't get a chance to look at the chat on YouTube or Twitch. So please go up to the QR code that's either here or here. Anyways, it's up here somewhere. Go up to the QR code, come on in, join Whatnot. Not only will you get like $15 off credit when after you make your first purchase, you know, yada yada, blah blah blah, but also you'll be able to come in and join the conversation, and everyone is welcome. So come on in and ask your questions. If you're thinking about selling on Whatnot, if you're already selling on Whatnot, if you used to sell on Whatnot and you want to come back to Whatnot, we're here to answer the questions. Salty Roses. Oh, you're Angie's neighbor. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Angie was saying they were going to be coming. Thank you for helping Angie out. That's so wonderful. That is so awesome. I wish I had a neighbor like that. Does anyone want to move next door? Oh, I don't have. They're they haven't. I don't know if she's renting. I can't. Oh, yes, your resin lady. It's so nice to have nice neighbors. My neighbors are very nice. I just don't see them very often. They stay in their houses or they go to work. Lester Loom says, I want to sell and have been sourcing, but I can't get an answer from Whatnot or Chit Chat what the size and weight limitations are for boxes. Okay, so let me just look. So you're thinking um you want to use Chit Chats. So Chit Chats would not be an option for that 22-inch piece, the wood plate rail. It's yeah, I think it would be too big with Chit Chats, but you could do a show. Um um, and then you could do it in Canada Post, and then you could do it with Canada Post. Chit Chats has restrictions if it ends up going into the states, and you can't stop. You can't decide who can and who can't buy from you. It's open to the world. So Chit Chat size restrictions, size guide. Okay, so most of the things are Chit Chat's. Let's see. On Chit Chat's help and support site, they have one called "Are there weight or dimensional limitations for my shipment?" um Notes on ship, they it goes into blah blah blah. So US, they use Chit Chat Select for most of it. So because you can't pick USPS versus Chit Chat's Edge versus Chit Chat Slim like you could if you were using Chit Chats yourself. You can select courier for any specific stream. Yes, absolutely, Cap. And that way you don't have to toggle your default provider if you just want to do one show. Yes, absolutely. Jesse, how are you, honey? I love you. I love you. And when doing my shipping one time, I had everything set to Chit Chat, but one item flipped to Canada Post. Yes. Yeah. So if you use Chit Chats and you hit generate label and it like spins for a bit, when it does that spin of like it's generating and it takes forever and then boom. So you got to watch because sometimes you do need to drop it off at Canada Post instead. Um, but it often, if you're using Chit Chats and you put in a long size, it won't even show shipping costs for American buyers. Yes, and Buy Now Shop 59 says Chit Chats does not send to post office boxes, but for that one, save that one to the last one and then go back and change your shipping. So yeah, what you can do is if you are trying to ship to a post office box, someone has a post office box, and it's not generating label. They should have it set now so that it will generate a Canada Post label instead. But they're trying to fix that little glitch. But if it doesn't generate a label, you can message support and they will manually generate you a Canada Post label without cost to you unless your weight. So make sure your weights and dimensions are correct and then send a message, contact support and say this is the order number of like one of the items that's in the package and send that to them and they will fix that. And the information about how to contact whatnot is over here. If you go to my show notes, they're long. If you scroll down towards the bottom, that's where you'll find the contact us information. Okay, so Chit Chats US Select, which most of them are going, is no one side longer than 21 inches. No show notes. Gasp. Hang on. Gasp. Post. Are they there now? Please be there now because they're really long. And I wrote all kinds of things. Okay. All right. Good. Yeah. No, thank you for telling me that. It's good to know. It means that Kim didn't hit post for a second time. Um, so Chit Chats doesn't always send to post office boxes, Vintiquity. If the person lives somewhere that it's going to be going by a last mile courier like Dragonfly, then it will come up with an error message. Yeah. So they do send to post office boxes through Canada Post, but the system, yeah, because of the way that the system is. So yeah, my post office box was almost 2 weeks. I saved it until the end and went and changed from Chit Chats to Canada Post and let me print a label then. Yeah, so you can just message support and just ask them to take care of it, and they will do it for you, which is what I had to do. I think it was actually Angie that I had to send something to. There is a list of Chit Chat locations. If you go to Chit Chats, I'll type it. Chit Chats. Chitchats.com. I'm trying to gently type. So if you go to chitchats.com, you'll be able to see all the locations. Please note that some of the drop-off locations do have fees associated with them. Chit Chats is not currently in Saskatchewan, Manitoba. All right. Ooh, can I get pepperoni with extra cheese that I'm not allowed to eat? Can can one of the kids eat a slice of pizza on my behalf since I'm not allowed to eat pizza right now? Okay, so Chit Chats, if you go to their help desk, they have support.chitchats.com. Um, so it's US Select is no one side longer than 21 inches or 53 centimeters, and no two sides greater than 16 inches or 40 centimeters. Tubes are not permitted. Oh no, I'm sorry, Melody. And shipments must not exceed 15 pounds. So if you're over 15 pounds, it's going to flip over to Canada Post, which I also have had happen. I also had too heavy a box at the very beginning because I was part of the test before it went out to all of you. So I had all kinds of fun issues that would pop up because I'm not a normal, like, I don't sell like little tiny things, right? So I was kind of like big, gigantic pieces of Blue Mountain pottery. So, oh, stuffed crust pizza with like the garlic on top. Everyday Vintage Girl, hello, how are you? And hello, Wacky Wombat. Lester Loom says, what about items that are in the buy it now? Can you choose each? No, you have to, it's by show. So if you have, so there's also restrictions on what, yeah, Heart Center Soul, I know. They made it, it's a little bit more complicated. So thank you so much for putting that in Buy Now Shop 59. Why aren't you modded? Mod. See, this is why I need. So when you do a show and you're using Chit Chats, you can't select. It has to all go bundled into a Chit Chats box. So, for example, you can't put food. You'll notice that I'm starting to put food back in my Buy It Now. You can't put like these glasses that I have. I bought a bunch of them so that I could sell them. And then Chit Chats doesn't let you do that if it's going to go across to the States. I am having a great night. Are you having a great night? Happy St. Patty's Day if you celebrate, or just, wear something green for the day. So yeah, you cannot make that, you can't choose. So if you're going to do, like, if I was going to do before I switched back to Canada Post, if I was going to say do a grocery store shop, because a lot of Americans like to go grocery store shopping. Hi, Custom Wood Burning. Look at you, your ears were burning. Do grocery store shop. So if I was to do a grocery store shop, I would have to make sure that I am Dee. Hello, Dee. I love you. I would have to make sure that I was using Canada Post and was switching to Canada Post for that show. You also have to be careful that, like, if you're going to do a Canada Post show and you normally use Chit Chats, you need to make sure that you first and foremost have already finished print generating your labels for the previous shows. I love you, Custom Wood Burning. Everyone, please follow Custom Wood Burning and The Archivist, who's also here. Great chat shows, like amazing chat shows. So, oh, and can you sell the frames only? So, Heart Centered Soul, Chit Chats has restrictions on anything that the FDA is worried about. So, there's nothing that can go in your mouth, so no food, no toothbrushes, no toothpaste, no sunscreen, and no glasses are one of even though they're costume, like they just have a blue light filter, they're not allowed. So and there's a whole bunch of restrictions. Buy Now Shop 59 put up the list, so it makes it Everyday Girl Vintage, I think you will do great as long as you have a Chit Chats that's close to you, that's going to be convenient for you to drop off at. Lester and Loom, it's because it's the FDA. It's because of the FDA. Now, if you were shipping, I shipped using Chit Chats to a Canadian who bought from me before. Thankfully, I messed up and I still had it in my show. I hadn't taken it out of my show. I Spy Vintage says my profile won't let me use chit chats. Have you heard of that? It says failed to register user, contact support. Yeah, that's weird. Definitely contact support. If you take a screenshot, try. I would suggest go to your app store or your Play Store, depending on what kind of device you're using. Update the app because there's always an update. Try again. If that doesn't work, then take a screenshot of that error message, and then there's contact us information. How to contact Whatnot is up in my show notes so that you can figure that one out. So yeah, definitely let them know, and they should be able to fix it like really quick for you. As long as just make it very clear as to what exactly you need. Just say that I am. It will, and just put it's there's a glitch. There's a glitch and it's failing to register me as a user. Support's gonna send you something that says how to do chit chats, and then just reply and say, yeah, I know that. This is the error. Please read my message. That's often what I have to do. Sorry, Whatnot support staff, but oftentimes I have to say, okay, yeah, I already read that article. Thank you for giving me the article. So like, please go back and read what I said because I did explain myself. And if you just read my freaking message in the first place, we wouldn't be having to have this conversation. Love, Kim. I say it really nicely. But I know it's frustrating when it happens. Just know that it's all right. Just push back. When you get that answer that's not the answer. In fact, right now I'm trying to get more specific details on surprise sets. D and custom wood burning. The answer I got back about surprise sets was clear as mud. And I was just like, no, like this is what I'm asking. If I do A, is that good, or can I do B? Give me that answer. Which is it, A that I can do or B that I can do? Or both. So I've pushed back. Whether I get an answer or not, I don't know, because I got an email saying that the file was closed. So I'll just try again. Or I'll just bug Kenny. I don't know. Poor Kenny. By now, Shop 59 says, I believe no eyeglasses because there's no way to know if they're not prescription. Yeah. The other thing is, too, is the Chit Chat staff will open up your parcel to make sure that what you say is in it is in it. But I've alerted Whatnot staff to that. Yeah, keep it as simple as possible. You're right, Sandra. Heart Centered Soul says, do you suggest uninstalling, reinstalling the app when my email links used to work and this way they aren't working to review an order? Oh, yes. I would definitely say uninstall, reinstall. Also check to see if you can, if you sign in on a web browser, if you're on a web browser, try there and see if you can see it there. If it's like, is it just that it's the phone, or is it that something's going wrong with your user registration? No updates are in the app store. So yeah, I would first check on a browser to see if you can see it there. You can sell medical alert bracelets with Canada Post. Yeah, there's no restrictions on medical alert bracelets, just not through Chit Chats. Don't use Chit Chats to ship. So complicated. They open up. No, they don't open up all the time, but they can open up. I know. So Lester and Loom, when I it's part of it's because of these tariff scares that keep happening every month. Every time there's a tariff scare, they start to really crack down on making sure that what you've got in your package is correct. And then, a day later, he takes it all back again. So we've gone through what? February, March. We're about to hit our April Fool's tariff scare, right? That's next. So our third one's coming up. So then that's when you expect. No ketchup chips for Michigan. I'm back on I don't think, did I put them in my on the ketchup chips that I had in my Buy It Now are like the bomb.com. Thank you, Buy It Now. Let me just see if I put them in. Did I put them in? I don't know. I import from inventory ketchup. There they are. Done. Import. There we go. Ketchup chips are the bomb.com. And these ones that are done by Who knows where they're, I don't even know where they're made. They're probably made in the States. Um, where's the can and cannot ship list? If you go to chitchats.com, and then you'll see prohibited items is one of their information on chitchats.com is prohibited items. So most of the stuff that we sell on Whatnot is fine. Most of the stuff. It's just, and also, so I had little they're like, they look like dentures. They were denture earrings for Kylie. Kylie bought them. They're still like somewhere in they're somewhere in America, we think. I haven't heard back about that, but that's a different story. But they Chit Chat's worried about that because it said on the description, item description on the packing slip, it said denture earrings, and they thought they were real dentures, which wouldn't be allowed. And then there was also a ring that looked like a set of teeth. It's like a ridiculous plastic ring. What color do you want, Sandra? Do you want, I think I have pink and yellow left. Or you can have these green ones, but I've been wearing them. So, because I couldn't find the green ones I already had. So now I have 2 green ones. Pink. Let me write this down before I forget, because Sandra, you know I will forget. Hang on. Because tomorrow is when I'm going to be, I have to go and buy over 150 boxes and the yellow. Sandra, pink and yellow. Okay. Pink and yellow, pink and yellow. Should we be putting those clear bags with packing slip on the outside? You can. I only do for cross border just when we have the tariffs. Every time we have a tariff scare, I put it in an envelope on the outside. The only time you'll see an envelope on the outside is when your girl forgets to put, like, your girl gets all excited about like measuring the box and she tapes it all up before she's printed off the label. And so then she needs to. So I actually created a label that says packing slip inside because Kim taped up the box before she printed the label. It literally says that on the sticker that I put on the side of the box, because I'm like, I'm an idiot. I might as well just admit it. Dave, what's up? So I've got it right here, Sandra. I'm gonna remember because it's on me, so I can go downstairs. Hello. So I would recommend for this next round of tariff scare at the beginning of April. So anything you start sending out around the end of March through to April 3rd, 4th, whenever he changes his mind again, I would say yes. Just do it. Just to be on the safe side. For Americans who are selling to Canadians, just know that there are tariffs on some products coming into Canada. There are retaliatory tariffs that we put on that we have not taken off completely because, well, it's not meant to hurt Americans. It's meant to wake them up to what is going on, and the only way that we can retaliate. So every time he says 51st state or calls our prime minister governor or says that our national anthem will make a really great song to sing at the 4th of July events in Canada, yeah, then it's going to continue. I have to say, there's always a silver lining in things, right? Like we had the Canada Post strike, but it brought us Canadians closer together and we got to know each other better, and a whole bunch of new sellers came on board, like Buy Now Shop 59 and Melody, all sort of, got pushed to come over here sooner and do stuff sooner, although Buy Now Shop 59, sorry, not that I had any control over that, but yeah, I know the 250% dairy is complete BS, but whatever. We don't even want their dairy because of all the crap that's in it. So oh yeah, so the silver lining of the strike was that we got to know each other better, and we became a solid community on here, and we built a whole bunch of sellers came over because they had nowhere else to sell, because a lot of other apps couldn't deal with it and whatnot had dealt with it. And now I think the silver lining for this thing, for us at least in Canada, is that holy cow, like we have become very, I don't think the word is patriotic, but we are extremely proud of our country, and we are standing strong, true north, strong and free. We are standing on guard. Like we are, like, everywhere you go, it's like elbows up. And you go into a grocery store, and the things that are made in Canada are labeled on right by the prices. It will have a Canada flag, or it will say made in Canada. Like you just can't get, you can't, it's, we are not that kind of country usually, but you're making us into it. Or not you, he is making us into it. So thank you, thank you, and it quite possibly will mean that that the person that he wants as prime minister is not going to win, because that person is too tied to him. So he's also making it very easy for the current government to get reelected, or easier. It's 50-50 right now in the polls. They're neck and neck, but it's better than it was. So Heart Center Soul says, think of Canada like, yeah, you get food from Canada, veggies, but more important, your potash, almost all of your potash comes from Canada. That's what you use to grow your crops. You need it. It's fertilizer, and you don't have enough of it. Your trees, you don't have enough trees. Even if you start cutting down every tree you have, you will still not have enough trees. Our trees grow stronger, and the wood is better. So your houses are, if you use American wood, lumber instead of Canadian lumber, your houses are more likely to have structural issues. So there's all kinds of things. I could go on, but yeah. So, and Buy Now Shop is talking about the dairy quota. I think there's like a very few instances where we've had to do above the quota. Yes, and 80% of our wood still stays here in Canada, even though we export tons of wood around the world. So the tariffs, the extra tariffs on dairy, are only for above the quota, which never happens for U.S. dairy coming into the U.S., or has happened maybe once in the entire time that we've had a free trade agreement. Yeah. So, anyways, so what were we talking about before? How did I get distracted? How did I get distracted as usual? So, oh yes, the tariff. So the silver lining is that this has actually helped Canada to extremely well. So thank you for helping us build a stronger, more proud nation. We appreciate that part. The rest we don't. Yeah, we have lots of trees. We have rocks and trees and trees and rocks and rocks and trees and trees and rocks and water. If you know the song. If you know Arrogant Worms, Canadian band, you can look it up. It's okay. So, but we also have Pyrex, and we have Blue Mountain, and we have clothes, awesome clothes and jewelry and luxury bags and handmade items. And what else? We've got lots of stuff here too. So the shipping the shipping with Canada Post versus Chit Chats, which we were talking about earlier. Canada Post rates on whatnot have gone down from what they previously were. It is now this Before, the system was charging you a flat rate no matter where you lived. If you were a Canadian, and a flat rate no matter where you lived if you were an American. Now, what the system does is it calculates based on the distance traveled. Now, Dave from Alberta noticed an interesting thing. Where he lives has not changed, but his postal code has changed, and now Chit Chats is more expensive for him, but Canada Post is not. And I think for a lot of people who live in parts of Canada that are off the beaten path, um, they're not going to be shopping in Chit Chats. So I think it's important if you're a Canadian seller, if you're a new seller, a new Canadian seller, pick the shipping company that is right for you for convenience, for you to be able to travel to and drop off packages, etc. Um, the price difference for American buyers is about $1 more for small packages, $1 more for your first item. And then after that, it doesn't go up very high. So, Canada Post versus Chit Chats is closer now than it was before. So $1 more for using Canada Post versus someone who's buying something off of if I was doing Chit Chats. So like this item, I think is 4 to 7. So the average American is going to have like, it's probably going to be around $7.68. So, but I mean, the difference is not that great between the two, unless you have a lot of Canadian buyers who live off the beaten path. So yes, Lester and Loom, get your plate rail and sell it in a Canada Post show instead of a Chit Chat show. So get your plate rail, sell it in a Canada Post show, or do a custom shipping profile. Um, since it's going to be extra big, figure out what kind of. Hi, Sassy Pants. How are you? Does it give you guys that option here on the app to choose which one? Um, we have to, when we set up a show, we can also default in our profile, on our seller profile on our account, we can pick Chit Chats or Canada Post. But also when you set up a show, so let me show you. Let me show you. This is how we do it. Okay. Schedule a show. Blah, 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 blah. Oh no, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Shipping settings. So see here under shipping settings, right there. Bye, Everyday Vintage. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for popping in. Hey, Pro Shop Sports and B and Fox. That is such a cute little picture. I love your picture. So you can see it says preferred shipping provider. So for a show, you could switch to Chit Chats. I could switch back to Chit Chats, or I could do Canada Post. So that's what it looks like for Canadians. That's what we get. So when you select a show, you can actually switch back and forth. But just a warning for folks: if you're in one, if you do a show in one, a Chit Chat show, make sure you've done your labels first. Thank you, Border City Thrifts. Thank you, thank you. Shows. I'm gonna go back into my show so I can read the chat better. So buy now shop 59 says before Dave's postal code changed, I believe it was $6.76 from me in Ontario to him, and basically it doubled. I Spy Vintage says when I did my show, average ship price was $11.70. Most people bought multiple things though. Yeah, and the secret to buying in a Canadian show is to, whether you're a Canadian or a US buyer, is to buy in bulk. The more you buy, the cheaper your per item shipping is going to be, because that first item is the highest price. After that, it's just going to be based on its weight. Oh my god, it's Snorlax. Hello, welcome in. Can you suggest to them we would like to pick the shipper by item? The only problem with that, Lester and Loom, is the bundling system that Whatnot uses. So I think what I will ask is, can we do a custom shipping profile where it would ship in a separate box that would be go by Canada Post? I think that would make a lot of sense. So I already have it in my suggestions. I'll just keep reminding them. So Sassy Pants says, if I'm buying Canadian, I just make sure I buy my value of shipping. It's always worth it. Yeah. You just have to go up a little bit, look for a few things. That's why Canadian sellers always offer to bundle, which means if something doesn't sell, if you run an auction and something doesn't sell, you can say to people, if you would like to bundle, Melody likes to bundle. If you would like to bundle, just say B if it doesn't sell, and then I will put it aside for you. And so I actually have an open box for Melody. I don't usually do open boxes, but for Melody, I'm doing an open box. So, but in your show, you could just put aside those things, put that person's name on it with the price of what it's going to be when they're ready to leave the show, which I call checkout. When you're ready to check out, then you just say, I need to go now. Can you run my items? And you just weigh that bundle, add the extra that you need for all the packing material, and then bada bing, bada boom, you've sold a bunch of items. The really cool thing about bundling is that a lot of people don't realize that every item you sell has a 30 cent part of the part of the fees that you pay to whatnot is a 30 cent per item payment processing charge. Okay. So if you sell 5 items, then that's 5 times 30 cents. That's $1.50, right? But if you sell those 5 items as a bundle, you're only paying 30 cents. So you just saved yourself $1.20, $1.20 American, which is like $100 Canadian. So it is worth it to bundle also because of that. If you're worried about, but I want to get to 1,000 sales. You know what? 1,000 sales will come on its own. Do not alienate a customer. If you're willing to do the bundling, you will get more customers that will come back to you because they're really happy. Um, Melody says, I switched back to Canada Post. They're across the street from me, whereas Chit Chat's too far. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, no, we'll wait, Melody, because I'm about to there's about to be a horde of stuff that you're going to be looking through. You only have 2 things right now. Yeah, you only have 2 things, so you're good. How do you know how much to charge them for each item in the bundle? So I Spy Vintage, if you say I ran this teacup, okay, I ran this teacup and I had it at $6 and it didn't sell. It's $6. And Melody says B for bundle, then I'll write Melody's name on the tag and I'll put $6 so that I know this is Melody's and it's $6. So then when it comes time when she's ready to go, then I just count everything. I have a little label. Sometimes I use a bookmark. Sometimes I just use a scrap piece of paper and shove it in it or shove it on it or tape it on it. And then I just grab all of their stuff. I weigh it and then I count up how much it's going to cost. And then usually if there are like 5 things, I will drop off $1 because I might as well pass on the savings. What was that just flung past me? Whatever. So I usually drop it $1 or so. So yeah. So always right when you do bundling. I mean, at one point I didn't do that. In fact, like 3 months ago, I wasn't doing that, and I was ripping myself off because I would forget how much the price was, and I would just, yeah. Melody says the best part of Kim's bundles is her wrapping. Yeah, Melody gets some really interesting. Thank you for your purchase, Border City Thrifts. Yeah. So Lester Lim says if something doesn't sell, it gets bundled. The price would be the starting price for each one of the different items. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah. So and then Heart Centered Soul says I wouldn't expect you to price less than your starting price unless I offered you an amount. So add it up. Yes. Buy now, shop 59 says my arms and hands get tired. Yeah, I do have multiple layers. So there's a lot of layers. So I apologize for that, but I'm super concerned. And this morning, if you're especially since it's spring and things are a little bit wet out, this morning a storage share warned that she's been using Chit Chats and some of her heavier boxes were getting wet in trucks. So make sure that if you have anything, this is a public service reminder to remember that if you have anything that you're selling that if it gets wet would get ruined, make sure that it is well protected in the box, including if you can putting it in some sort of poly bag, even if it's a Ziploc bag or something, something to protect it. I mean, if it was a mug, I wouldn't worry so much. Um, but it's also one of the reasons getting wet and different temperatures and like heat and cold and make things can actually sweat from humidity, right? So that's why the first layer that I put on things is tissue paper for most of my items because it makes sure it's shiny side out, matte side in, because putting plastic like bubble wrap up against things that have glazes or have paint on them, you can actually ruin, like it'll actually come off and you can ruin the finish on things if it gets too hot or too cold and the bubble wrap is right up against it. So that's just my little other public service announcement. Um, let's see. I Spy Vintage. You work for UPS, and I can concur. Add lots of tape to the bottom of the box. Yeah, especially in winter because snow blows in. They open it up, and there's only so much they can do, and snow blows in. Would parchment paper be okay to use? That would be okay for some things, but say it was like some ephemera or something. Oh, goodness. Oh, that's what flung. I just realized what flung past me. I had a see. I already dropped. This is the second time today I've dropped you guys. It was a good catch though, wasn't it? I had a rubber band holding you guys to the so that I could tilt it so there was less ceiling. But if I do that, then you fall over, which you just did. So, um, oh yes, thank you. Buy now, shop 59. So if you look down below, there's the free resources. There's a whole bunch of different things that are in my free resources. One of the things is for winter shipping. It's it prints on 4x6 paper, or thermal printer. It's designed for thermal printer. The same labels that we use if you use a thermal printer for printing out your 4x6 shipping labels. And it just explains about thermal shock and warns people not to open their packages right away until they let it acclimate to their room before they open it up, because they can actually damage glazes and crack crystal, and they can crack glass, and they can bad things happen. Bad things happen if you don't let it acclimate. And I have no patience whatsoever. It's so hard for me to leave a box and not want to open it right away. Yeah, so thank you for pointing that out. By now shop 59. So if you look down below, that link there, that QR code, you can just click on it and then take a screenshot of it and you'll be able to use it later. Archivist says, let it acclimate. I've had something explode in pieces. Yeah. And most of the stuff that I ship out is, unless I'm doing a book show, mine says 24 to 48 hours. So I've covered my butt with two hands in a picnic basket. So yeah, 24 hours minimum. If you live in California, you don't have to worry as much if you're in like the south or something. But if you live in a cold climate during this time of year, just be careful. Same thing but not to the same extent. But if it's really hot out and your box has been out in the sun, when you bring it in, let it cool down. Don't open it up in your air conditioned house. I should probably do a label for that. A thermal shock hot sun label, but that might be a really long paragraph that I would write for that. So anyways, D says if I'm lazy, I'll open it in a week. It's fine. I used to just have like boxes of Whatnot stuff everywhere. I've slowed my Whatnot buying roll. Now what I do to to get my Whatnot buying feeling without overwhelming my house again is that I overwhelm Kylie's house with stuff. So my snow baby. I'm the snow mama and she's my snow baby, and so I send stuff to Kylie. And she gets weird stuff. Oh, you're opening. Yay. She gets weird. Sometimes she gets really weird things. And then I get blooped in a chat by somebody. I have no idea, but it's going to Kylie. So if you bloop me in a chat, if you're in the States, and I'm in one of your shows and you bloop me, thank you so much. It's going to Kylie. So Kylie thanks you in advance for whatever it is you blooped. But sometimes I see something and I'm like, oh, Kylie needs that. I buy her clothes. I'm that kind of snow mama. I buy her clothes. I'll send her random things. My daughter wouldn't appreciate any of that, so I got to adopt one from the States. So it's all good. It's all good. She's worth it. Okay. Oh, let's see. Sweet Rosebud. Rosebud. Like Rosebud, like from the movie. Um, you have a variety show on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central. Ooh, what kind of stuff are you doing? Tell us more. Tell us more. Tell us more. I'm excited. Vintiquity says, I wait 2 or 3 months before opening packages, so I'm doing well. Very good, Vintiquity. You are making sure that there is absolutely no thermal shock at all. And nothing will get thermal shocked. You may be shocked when you open it up and be like, I don't remember buying this because it was 3 months ago. But yeah, everything that I ship out now has got like multiple layers. It certainly it costs more to wrap the way I wrap, but I would rather do that and have most things still get broken. I am not a perfect shipper in any way, shape, or form. I'm not pretending to be a perfect shipper. So do not think of me as a perfect shipper because I'm not. I don't think there's such a thing as someone who has a perfect shipping record. I do not have a perfect shipping record. Stuff breaks. It sucks. Border City Thrift says, me literally when my package gets delivered within a week. Yes, D Archivist says the only thermal shock is trying to remember what she bought. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, I gotta switch butt cheeks. The other butt cheek was starting to fall asleep. You've been talking for too long on Whatnot when you gotta switch your butt cheeks over. Or I just need to lose weight. I'm trying. But this medication I'm on is like, it kicks my butt. It kicks my frozen butt. Oh, everyone have a drink. It's good to have water. I'm supposed to drink so much water. I'm just basically living. It's just me and the toilet. That's what it feels like sometimes. I know, TMI. Sorry. Just going pee, not the other thing. Not that much TMI. Um, yes, the shots. I'm on my third week, so I have lost weight. But I've also noticed I'm getting wrinkly. So the wrinkles were filling in the fat was filling in the wrinkles. So Border City Thrift says Canadian Whatnot equals masters in yapology. Exactly. You just talk about everything. That's what Canadians do. We're very good at that. We're very good. If you ever see Canadians yipping with each other, some in like a grocery store or anywhere, sometimes we don't even know each other at all, and we just start talking, and like we share everything. We overshare. D Archivist says, I don't know if I can do it. I'll be one of those wrinkled puppies. Yeah, like I can already see it here. I'm starting to get like, I remember when my mom was, well, she was younger than me, but when she started and I could see it, I remember I was used to like, yeah. So it's starting to happen. I'm starting to get old. Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep going. However, there is a side effect that is rare, but your girl got it. So I need to go see I need to go see an ophthalmologist. So I need to get a referral to an ophthalmologist. So I got to go to an optometrist to get a referral to an ophthalmologist. So then I can get my eyes checked because I'm getting the blurry vision. So that's why I'm like this when because the blurry vision, it like anything outside of like 4 feet away from me is getting blurry now, which is a sign of something to do with, I don't know, diabetic retino something or other. Anyways, I'm not enjoying it. I'm not. I'm not enjoying that part. Your eyes are awful too, sweet Rosebud. Have you been on like I'm not diabetic, but I'm on this medication and so it lowers your blood sugar. You got the blurry vision too? Yeah. I'm thinking I might have to stop, which sucks. But then I'll just adjust my diet and hope that the thing that I need help with is the feeling like I'm so oh no, you got the ocular. Yeah, cuz that's a sign that it could be there's a worse condition. There's a worse condition with the shots that can actually cause blindness. It's a like a stroke. So yeah, if you got an ocular migraine, yeah, run away, run away, run away. Yeah, run away. Woo. So I am worried about that. I don't want to go up the I don't want to up the dose. Um Buy now shop 59 says I am diabetic and on oral and needles and have double vision. It is it's amazing how your blood sugar affects your eyes. I had no idea. Oh, Border City Thrift says I don't like this adulting thing. I'm only 21 and my body is falling apart. Oh, sending you lots of love. I hope that it gets better. I hope it gets better. Um yeah, and D says being an adult hormonal woman sucks at times. It does. It does. Um I have to say that when I'm more careful with my food, then I find that I don't have as many migraines. But if I don't get enough sleep and if I do too much and I push myself and I don't eat properly and I don't drink properly, then I'm absolutely going to get a migraine. So I think like 90% of the migraines that I had from the age of 16 until 50 were because I wasn't taking care of myself. So when older people told me that I should be taking care of myself better and that maybe I wouldn't have migraines, I told them they didn't know what they were talking about. So, oh no, Border City Thrift, you have kidney stones, and it's oh no. One of my friends, she has a condition that is constantly creating kidney stones, and it's so painful. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you're going through that. Sweet Rosebud said, "Women put up with so much crap. We are so strong. We are. We have like a weight. Like we can shoot babies out of our vajayjays. You know. So like we've got a high pain tolerance and we can do as what was it that Ginger Rogers said that she could do everything that Fred Astaire did, but she could do it backwards and in high heels. That is yeah. We can do a lot of things. We can do hard things, but for sure, first of all, we have a society, yes, even in Canada, we have a society that does not treat us as equals. The good news is here you can build a whatnot business as a woman and make it the way you want and how you want, and you don't have to answer to anyone except yourself. So this is a great thing about these platforms that allow us to build a business and do things our way. Oh no, Melody says I injured my leg somehow, horrible cramps for 2 days. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. Electrolytes. I'm gonna mama you and say electrolytes. Drink a lot of electrolytes. Angie says told the boys only reason life goes on is because of women, and they said, how do they think they need the birds and the bees? I guess. Angie, I guess it's up to you. Yes, drink some electrolytes. Yeah, magnesium. Do you have that calm stuff? They have a really good one that's for sleep too. Darling Mook, you unlocked egg. You've suffered through 3 of my shows. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but you have coupons now. For your suffering, you have coupons. Um coupons are the best. Potassium. Yeah, that's why electrolytes. You can get the powder on Amazon. Melody. It's just plain powder. It doesn't have any sugar or anything else. It's just the powder. Oh, thank you, darling Mook. Sweet Rosebud said, I wish Whatnot was around years ago. Great way for people to make extra cash. Yeah, depending, like, you can run Whatnot however you want to. So if you want it to be, if you're like a storage auction, like you buy storage units and you want to be able to run through stuff really fast and just have it show it, people buy it, you ship it, you go on to the next storage locker. You can do that. Or if you want to do highly curated, high end, like luxury bags, you can do that as well. Like there's everything in between. And every time we think, oh, they've updated the app. It's so great. And, we're just getting used to some new feature. They bring on some other feature. It's pretty cool. Your electrolytes are always low. I have electrolytes that I take like 3 times a day. I just put them in everything. I'd rather have more than less. I know that some of them will make things happen down below that isn't pleasant, but I'd rather have more than less. Manda Panda, how are you? Good evening, good evening. Okay, any other questions? I do have, let me just look at my show notes for a second. Is it in here? Where is it? There it is. Okay, at the very bottom. March 26th, everyone bookmark the fireside chat that Whatnot Sellers is doing on March 26th. It's going to be with She's One Oak. And yes, Cindy, it is still a go. So on March 26th, and that's going to be at 12 noon. So my show on March 26th will raid, my morning show will raid into them at 12 noon. And then they're also doing April 2nd, they're doing another product spotlight. So there's probably going to be some new feature that they might be telling us about, or something that's coming down the path. And April 16th, they're doing a community belonging show. And April 23rd is fireside chat. Yes, Son of the Pharaoh. That's kind of like Son of a Nutcracker. Son of the Pharaoh. Absolutely. Thank you for asking, Vintiquity. Son of the Pharaoh. I love that name. I want to learn more about it. I want to learn more about the name. That sounds great. Thank you for asking. Local local pickup, Luster and Loom. So local pickup, what does the buyer see on their end? We'll check out, if you go to, I can't see it because I'm in my own show, but if you go over to this side in your wallet, you should be able to switch to local pick. You should see local pickup information, and it should say, literally, I think it says we can meet at the post office or at the antique market and yada yada yada. So it basically gives you the location. That's whatever you put in for that information, like I put in, is what they're going to see. So they won't, you have to put in the address. You If you put in you can, if you want to put your home address, you can, or if you have a brick and mortar, that's great. But you can put in, for local pickup, you can put just your information, if that's what you were talking about. So yeah, so they would just see, it would be in the wallet, they would see in the instructions, and then if they select local pickup for your show, then it would just say local pickup at the bottom. They wouldn't see a shipping price at all. And it is a cost savings to you because you don't pay the 2.9% payment processing fee for their shipping fees. So it actually it saves you. Buy now, shop 59. Thank you. So you tap on your wallet over here and then you hit delivery method. And Melody is saying everyone should watch the show Severance because it's mind blowing. That's the emoji. But do they get to decide which way to go? So yes, Luster and Loom, so they could pick that they want to do local pickup if you offer local pickup. If you don't select local pickup as something that you offer, then nobody will be able to see that. But they can select local pickup, and then they have to pick it up within 7 days. And yeah, and Heart Centered Soul says some people put specific dates and times for pickup. Like they'll say Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 8 to 6 or whatever, and this is the address. Or some of them will say only on Sundays and Mondays, etc. So you can actually make it pretty pretty specific if you want to. Mine is generalized because there's not a lot of people that do local pickup, and they end up being friends. So I just have a few friends who do local pickup. So it is good though if you are advertising your Whatnot business to your neighbors and your community around you, you can say, don't worry about the shipping costs because you can just select local pickup and you can pick it up when I'll meet you at the grocery store and we'll I'll drop it off to you then, or I'm going to be around the corner from your house, so I'll just drop it off if you're friends, right? Border City Thrift says, I'm too scared to put local pickup because I don't want people to select it and expect me to. No, Border City Thrifts, if they select local pickup, then it is not shipped. Whatnot will not have it as shipped. So if you don't even get adjustments, Melody. If they pick local pickup, they have to come pick it up. And if they don't pick it up within 7 days, you still get your money. So you still get your payout even if they don't pick it up. So if you're a buyer and you're thinking about getting local pickup, do it using local pickup. Just make sure that you're going to be able to purchase, unless you're like, Sandra has like a huge swath of stuff for me that's coming, that's over multiple shows, because I go to Belleville every once in a blue moon, and so then I bring stuff. We have an arrangement, but we trust each other, so I don't worry about it as long as she doesn't worry about it. So before they bid on the item, yes, they would have to go into their wallet to see if you have local pickup as an option. And I highly recommend, if you do have local pickup and you know that there's local people in your show, is to say, don't forget, everyone, go to your wallet. If you want to do local pickup, I do offer that. You do have to say it to remind people, because it's something that a lot of buyers forget about, that there's local pickup, because most of them aren't buying from people who are local. But yeah, put it in your show notes too. Exactly, Lester and Loom. Put in your show notes and say local pickup is available. Go to your wallet, select delivery method, and hit local pickup, and you can pick it up from me. And then you can even put the details if you wanted to in your show notes, or they'll be able to see the location. There's also the one thing that I did notice, minimize show. Where was I? So I was looking at filter. Let me go to I was browsing the other day and I noticed something that I hadn't seen before. Okay, trading card games. So if I go to the filter, I noticed this. If I hit filter and I hit shipped from, you can select free pickup, and then so you can say, please select your location here, and you select your location. So I'm gonna put this one, and then I'm gonna say within 78 miles, and then I can select, and then it will show me shows that within 78 miles of me have local pickup. Look at all these shows that have local pickup within 78 miles of me. Isn't that cool? Thank you. Bye now, Shop 59. Final Boss, what's up? How are you? So you can actually, if you want to just do local pickup, you can actually filter for shows that have local pickup, and you can put in where you live and it will show you. Isn't that cool? That's new. That's new within the last couple of weeks, but I never played around with it until tonight. So there you go. I'm glad you're doing great, Final Boss. This is my heart to you because my hands are full. Oh, I need more water inside of me. You don't have those filters. So like if you go to, it would only show, like if you go into trading card games, it'll only give you that option. So let's see. So you have to go to shipped from, okay, hang on. Clear results. Sort by. So when you go to sort by, I'm on an Android. Yeah, I haven't tried it on on an iPhone yet, which I'm talking to you on. So this is on Android. Usually if it's on Android, then it means it's also on iPhone. But yeah, so go into the category first. So go into the category, and then so trading card games is the one that I use when I want to show something, but now it's not letting me. Whatnot's like, you're showing stuff and we don't want people to know about this, so we're not. No. Okay, there we go. And so filter, I'm going to clear, and then yeah, so right at the bottom there it says free pickup. If you hit that, then you can select your location, and then you can just move, see right there, how far you want it to be. So you select your location, it will open up your list of addresses, you select the addresses, and then you can say how far away you're willing to drive for local pickup and hit results. So if you are someone who would like to be able to do local pickup, you can find people that way. Kind of neat. Kind of neat. So like, I mean, if you were going on a road trip somewhere, you could like road trip across the country doing local pickup as you go. Buy, drive to the next location, pick up from that person, buy, drive to the next location, pick up from that. It'd be like a Whatnot pickup vacation. That sounds weird. We can make a movie out of it, I'm sure. Okay, it is 8:54. Is 8:54. Yeah, or sell it. Yes, definitely sell as you go. Now, here's a caution. A whatcation exactly. Just a reminder, I know a lot of Canadians aren't going to be going into the States because of what's going on right now. But you can you cannot cross over the border and sell using your whatnot seller account that's a Canadian account. Angie's this and that. If I'm in Lindsay at a friend's, I can do local pickup. Yes. Oh, low power mode. Alert, alert, alert. Yes, I'm only like an hour away, so we could figure something out. We could figure something out. Plus, really great thrifting in Lindsay, Angie. Mm-hmm. 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 Ooh, and clothing, people who resell clothing, really great thrifting at this one place in Lindsay that I always go into, and I go through the clothes and I'm like, if I went down this rabbit hole and I started selling clothes too, um, yay, that's exciting. I was like, there's a really great place that it's a women's, it's a thrift store for the women's shelter. So they get really great clothing. Yeah, they get really, really great clothing because women donate to women's shelters, and they donate really good stuff to women's shelters. They have good other things too. Yeah. So, and Lindsay also has the Restore and a few other places. So I have a list. You lived in Bobcaygeon for a year, loved it, but they love the area, but the kids needed me. Bobcaygeon is beautiful. Bobcaygeon is beautiful. I know it's got a weird name. For Americans, they're like Bob K Guion. What? That's like Etobicoke. Etobicoke. If you live in Toronto, Etobicoke is no big deal but if you look at it, it's spelled um hang on, I gotta go back into my show. Nova Scotia does have some weird names, but yeah. Etobicoke. Etobicoke. We don't say Etobicoke. Your mother-in-law lives in Etobicoke. My mother, when she got married, she was living in Etobicoke. We don't say the Coke part, Etobicoke. It's more like Etobicoke. She lived at Bloor and Renforth on Renforth Drive. 190 Renforth Drive. Why do I remember that address? Yes, Americans would totally say. Actually, I think Kylie tried to say it, and she came out with like Etobicoke. So yeah. Oh yeah, Muscadobit. There's all kinds of really cool names. There's really cool names. And then I had to tell Kylie all about how Toronto wasn't originally called Toronto, and that Port Hope was actually called Toronto, but Toronto just means the meeting place. So basically a whole bunch of places were called Toronto. by the Indigenous people here. So when we arrived at Port Hope, we're like, oh, this is Toronto, because that's what they said this was, but it just means the meeting place. By Now Shop 59 says you should hear some of the people try to pronounce Mississauga. Mississauga, like Mississippi. Sauga City, yes. Or Sault Ste. Marie. If someone said to you they lived in Sault Ste. Marie, how would you spell that? Because it's not, it's not really, it's, yeah, that's what, yeah, because it's Sault Ste. Marie. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Shauna. As I hit send. Yeah, so but it's pronounced Sault Ste. Marie. But it looks like Sault Ste. Marie, but it's not. It's not. So I think, but there's a lot of places in the United States that have weird names too. I think there's weird names everywhere. Near where my husband and I had our English wedding, because his family lives in England, so we had a wedding there so that his mom could attend. And it was a blessing. It was a blessing. We were already technically married. There's a place called Puckle Church. Puckle Church. One word. Puckle Church. Angie says same for Listowel. We get list towel, separate words. Yeah. And Kitchener Waterloo used to be called Kitchener. I call it Kitchener Waterloo because I lived there, but Kitchener, Ontario, used to be called Berlin, but got rid of that. Hi, Moxie. After the First World War, or during the First World War, I can't remember. Got rid of Berlin. Hello, Moxie. How are you doing, my love? How are things in your world? Okay. Any more questions? Any more questions? Because I do have we are going to be rating into someone when you're all ready. Yay! What you having for dinner? I ate a little tiny bit of cheese and a little bit of dried fruit and some grapes. That was dinner. Because I had a larger lunch by accident. Chicken Milanese. Ooh, that sounds fancy. Kel, Uncle Kel, how are you? Cheese. Your tummy would hate you. It was really good. It was only a little bit. Lady Sports, commish. You're the commissioner of Lady Sports. I like that. Do you sell Lady Sports stuff? I want to learn. I want to learn. Tell me all about it. Look at me. Welcome in. Tell me all about yourself. Like how to scare people off. 101. Did we talk about the Canadian Cal? That's a secret. That's a secret. So it's not out yet. They're in testing right now, so it's okay. Secret, yeah, secret agent man. So yeah, your sock squad, so cool. You changed the name. I love it. Let me see. View profile. The sports commissioner. I love that. Lady sports commissioner, formerly sock squad. I love that because then you don't have to, like, people are like, wait, you're just socks. But no, I'm not. I'm way more. You have friends who played professionally on sports teams and music recording artists. I have all your embroidery, sports teams, patches, and hat pins, football, basketball card pulls. Let's create you a new fit. I stream one day out of the week and on Saturday and Sundays. You can catch me in the wee hours of the morning. Many love to stop by my shows and be greeted with my southern hospitality. Well, bless your socks. Bookmark my upcoming shows, and don't worry, I still have all your crazy socks and my popular handmade incense sticks and oils. Shut the front door. That is awesome. I love it. I love it. Moxie says how to scare people 101. Send them to my shows. Moxie's actually a professional scarer. A professional scaring person, haunter. I don't know what it's called. You scare people. It's good to see you too. I do like that. Lady Sports Commish. The commissioner of lady sports. I love it. Mm. Thank you. Moxie is a professional scare actor, which takes a lot of talent to actually really scare someone bad. So Cal, I don't have all the deets because they didn't invite me to the beta, but other people have invited to the beta. So it won't take long before they roll it out, I'm sure. So we will find out in due course. They're testing right now. Testing 1, 2, 3 to see how what the uptake's like. Our orders, no, I Spy Vintage, they're bundled the exact same way. So they're basically, if somebody buys something, oh, they're just testing something out, Lady Sports. It's okay. It's a Canadian thing. It's a Canadian thing and it's going to be fine. It's just, they just are looking at, yeah, there's a bunch of different options that they're looking at to improve the sales and the buying experience. So I love the fact that Whatnot doesn't stop trying to improve. Like they never stop. Like it's like, we got this far. Yeah, like Chit Chats, they brought out Chit Chats. Another silver lining, I think, of the strike is that we got their attention, and I really think all of you who helped to spread the word and teach people about how to use Bring Your Own Label and keep going during the strike showed Whatnot that we're serious and that we're here to stay, and that we made bleed red and white because we have red and white blood cells and our flag is red and white, but we also bleed yellow because we love Whatnot. So I think we showed how organized and professional Canadians could be. Not that I'm saying that everybody was, but we did our best. Viva kids, hello. I know, elbows up. I need to moisturize those elbows before I use them. Does anyone know where that phrase comes from? Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe. Good old Gordie Howe. He always, when he would have a defensive move that he would make where he'd keep his elbow up while he was playing hockey. So you would turn around and suddenly your head would be 5 feet away because you'd gotten you'd moved your head too close to Gordie's elbow. So it became a thing. It's a defensive move in hacky. Oh, Border City Thrift says Gordie Howe's Little Bridge has caused too much construction in the city. So yeah, there is a new international bridge that's going from Detroit to Windsor. That is the Gordie Howe International Bridge. So his mother moved to Ontario, to the Windsor area after. It looks gorgeous. It looks really gorgeous. So he's getting an international bridge named after him. He was, most of his life, he was in the United States playing hockey. He was on minor hockey league, and then he was in the NHL. And he scored a lot of goals and stuff, hockey things. It shall not be, no, it's going to be Gordie Howe. We are not changing it, Dave. There is no. And we're not redrawing the GD line. It's not an artificial line. If we're going to redraw the line, we're going to go down and cut out California and Vermont and most of New England, and we'll redraw the line, but it'll be in a different direction. You did your high school in Windsor, WD Low High School. There you go, Border City Thrifts. Check that out. Moxie went to high school there. It's going to be the last exit on the 401. Gordie Howe becomes the last exit. That sounds a little ominous, doesn't it? Border City Thrifts. Oh yes, definitely send pictures to the Discord. We'd love it. Heart Center Soul says we love Gordie here in Michigan and now moving the border. Yeah. Just we'll just edit. If it's an artificial line, then we can edit it too. Not moving the border. Okay. Well, I like Michigan. Michigan's really pretty, and the people there are really nice. And you've got Detroit. You got Detroit. Oh, there you go. Moxie, Border City Thrifts went to Herman, not to your high school. Isn't that small world though still? Dream Glam, hello, how are you? Okay. So, last call for questions. and then and it's okay. You can ask a question, and I'm not trying to leave. I'm just saying last call for questions. Um, your mom went to low. See if I knew what any of that meant. I could nod and smile to Trojans. Trojans. Oh, you guys are so funny. It's a high school. Okay, I thought so. I thought so. I went my last year of high school. I went to Eastern Commerce in like inner city Toronto. I can do the song for you. There was a song that was like my great aunt went to that was the first graduating class of that high school. So they're the Saints. I don't think Eastern Commerce is still open. But they were like the number one basketball. Jamal McGlure from the Raptors. He went to I knew him because anyways, it's the Saint song. Will everyone here kindly stand up and cheer for Eastern Commerce all the way? Our spirit and friendship are second to none. We've all just begun to hail all our victories, so let us repeat that you often won't meet a group of saints that can't be beat. With black, white, and red, we will wake up the dead, 'cause we're lively as lively can be. Will everyone here kindly stand up and cheer for Eastern Commerce all the way? With an EASTERN. Commerce. That's us. Woo! It's still open? Oh, good. I'm glad. But yeah, we had every time we did assembly, we had to sing that song. So we seem to have done assembly a lot because it's stuck in my head. But isn't it funny? Because it's very 1920s, isn't it? Da 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 da. It's like vaudeville. Woo! It's very vaudeville because it was opened. It was opened in like 19. Oh no, might have been the 20s. So it was like that was the first thing. I did do cheerleading in public school because I wasn't a very good athlete, and so I could do the Guildwood cheer. There's strawberry shortcake, huckleberry pie. VICTORY. Are you with us? Yes, I guess. Guildwood, Guildwood, we're the best. Go Guildwood. Yeah, that's the only one I can remember. But it's strawberry shortcake because everybody loves strawberry shortcake. Straight because that's 80s kid. Strawberry shortcake, huckleberry pie. I know. We had little pom poms and everything, and I put my hair in a ponytail and everything. My high school sport was skipping. I was really good at skipping in my other high school. I got so bored at that other high school. The teachers were boring. Everything was boring. It's all boring. And one of the teachers called my father, and my father said, if it wasn't for the fact that she could already teach the class, she would be in there. But she can already teach everything. There's nothing for you to teach her, so figure out how to teach her something, and then maybe she'll come to class. Your grade 12, you had well over 100 absences. I don't even want to think about what I had. Like I did end up in detention one year. Your spare is now going to be you have to sit here in this room with these other people. They like two of them were drug dealers. I probably could have learned a trade if I had started talking to them. Maybe my life would have turned out differently. Your spare was counseling with the school. Yeah, we didn't have enough social workers for that. So Dream Glam says, I was the worst at sports and now I'm one of the fittest for my age group. Look, took 40. Good for you, Dream Glam. 40 years to get your revenge. That will not happen to me. That is not gonna that's not gonna happen. I can throw a ball for my dog and he doesn't care where it goes. I know, Angie, I could have had a different type of live selling experience if only. Who knows? I could have competed with Doug Ford back in the day. Oh, I said it. I said what I said. Hi, the Faja. How are you? Oh yeah, D. Look it up. Our premiere. Look it up. You can look. You can Google it. If you haven't already. You can Google it. You can look up our premiere and his history. The rumors. There's nothing proven in a court of law. Hi, Faja. Border City Thrift says, I think I need to move to Italy. They seem less problematic, and I heard the food is definitely great. The food is definitely great. Yes. The food is wonderful there. Dave, I don't know. I don't know. That's possible. I don't know if it would explain everything though. I don't think it explains narcissistic personality disorder. You know who Doug is? Okay. So you already know. You already know the story. He did divest in his American, like, I don't think Deco Labels is still in the family, but he doesn't, I think it's in like a Chinese wall. Very similar to Mark Carney's got everything put into blind trust. Yeah. His brother was very addicted to drugs. Was also mayor of Toronto. So, you know. But then sadly, he, and probably because the drugs and the alcohol were masking the pain, he didn't get treatment. He had a stomach cancer that killed him. And he had like a huge, like it was huge. It was huge. Rest in peace, my carbon tax money I get every 3 months because he got rid of it. Yes. There's still the one payment is going to come out. I wouldn't be surprised though, Border City Thrifts, if that doesn't get replaced with tariff. I don't know what to call it, but because of the tariffs, they've already been talking about stimulus, the stimulus package. So yeah, a lot of the people who were receiving a lot of the people that I know who got those checks weren't driving, so they weren't, it wasn't coming to them. So like they're not going to see any benefit because they're going to lose money. But there's talk already that there's going to be stimulus money coming through. So, you know, hi Nikki Lulu, would tariffs affect whatnot? So they would, it depends on what product is being sold and what tariffs end up on it. Right now, if tariffs were to happen again, like they did, and then they didn't, and then they did, and then they didn't, for the past 2 months, if they happen again in April for U.S. buyers of Canadian shows, right now the current administration understands that they need to keep the de minimis exemption on, which is $800 or less. If a package is worth $800 or less, there are no taxes, duties, or tariffs that are put on it, and it just goes through. So as long, and the majority of people who sell on Whatnot are shipping out packages that are worth less than $800, so it will not affect. It will not affect until he hires more border service agencies. But at this moment, the there seems to be more of a slash and burn that's happening when it comes to employees in the federal government in the United States. And that's from us looking down and reading news about what's going on down there. So if that continues, then I highly doubt that there's going to be any more workers hired to be able to process all the packages. They even did the same thing for China. There's tariffs on Chinese products coming into the United States, and they had to back off on the de minimis exemption because everything ground to a halt because every single little tiny package has to be looked at, and they just couldn't handle it. So the de minimis exemption for now is staying on. So therefore, I'd say 90% of the packages that are shipped from Canada down to the States via Whatnot will not be affected. So it's, yeah, so I think we're okay. On the other hand, there are retaliatory tariffs on some products that Canada has left on. So for Canadians buying from US shows, just be cautious about what you're purchasing, and make sure that you know where it was made, so that because the declaration form, the customs form that Whatnot automatically populates right now to ship things up to Canada is, they put made where it's made, they put made in USA, which means every single thing in that package will get tariffed if the tariffs apply. But if most of the stuff was actually made in Japan, it wouldn't get tariffed at all. So make sure that you know where the stuff is made when you make a purchase, so that if you do get a big tariff, you can challenge that with the Canadian Border Service Agency. And the way that you do that is very simple. Yeah, Lego's made in 6 different countries, which makes it harder for Lego collectors to know. But I don't. Is it made in the USA? I don't think. Is it made? I can't remember if it's made in the USA too. Um, but if you're importing it, um, if you get a package and it has tariffs due on it, if you're Canadian, when you go to the post office and they ask you for that money, you have multiple choices. You could refuse the package. It'll be returned to sender. You will not receive a refund from Whatnot if you do that. Your other option is to pay for the package and just suck it up, buttercup. The other option is pay for the package, but there's that piece of paper, there's a form, and you can go online and you can do an appeal, and the information should be on that form that's on your package after you've paid. Or if you don't want to pay for the tariffs, you can tell the post office to send the package back to Canada Border Services Agency for an appeal, and they will have you fill in a form there at the post office. It's on their system, and you just put that information in. It will include your email address. They're going to need your email address. They will, when they receive the package, they will email you with the form that you need to fill out to do an appeal. The benefit of the last option is that if you already know where the products are made, you can say, look, Border Service Agency person, open up the package and look for yourself. You're going to see that it says made in Japan on the bottom of it. It's obviously not made in the United States. There was an error on the customs form. And now, is it going to work in all cases? Not necessarily, but if you really don't want to pay the tariff, that is one of your options. Well, there's all your options, really. So just keep that in mind for the future. Right now, it's a-okay. Most things that you are going to buy from Whatnot from the US are not going to be charged. Good evening, Catch and Repeat. How are you? Border City Thrift says, I wish Whatnot would let us make our own customs forms. I think if tariffs continue to be an issue, Whatnot is going to have to add country of origin to the information that they collect when you're adding a listing. And people are going to complain. So they're trying to avoid that, right? Because change is bad. Any extra step that anyone has to do is bad. They're going to complain, but it's a legal requirement. It is a legal requirement. So it's going to have to be done. What I personally do is on the, oh, thank you so much, Catch and Repeat. Thank you so much for the tip. Everyone follow Catch and Repeat. That is so sweet of you. Thank you. If when you print out the packing slip, I highly recommend, it is not mandatory, but I highly recommend that if you print off the packing slip, and all the time, I always put a packing slip in. I'm team packing slip. But when you're shipping across a border, make sure that you put a packing slip in the top of it. And what I do is I write where it was made beside each one of the items. Whenever the tariffs start to happen again and there's problems, I add it to the top of it, so that if it's opened up by a border service agency person, they're going to pull that up first. They're going to see all my notes and they're going to know where they'll have more details. And then also so that they don't open up each one of my packages, because I have multiple layers. Like mine's like a bridal cake of layers. It's like an onion. It's like an onion. So I don't want them unwrapping all that to look at the item inside. So I write on the outside paper. I write what it is. If it's just clothes, Swags Monster, just make sure you look and see where is it made. Where is it made? So I would just put that on they should have a label on them. If someone's cut off the label, then you're gonna have to use your best educated guess as to where it's made. So yeah, if an item doesn't have a tag on it, just use your best educated guess, or put made in the USA and leave it at that. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you can look at something, and most clothing, if it's a brand, you're going to know where it was made because you can just snap a picture and it'll tell you all the information because the internet has almost all the knowledge of the world. If it's made somewhere else like Mexico, it just depends on what tariffs are happening at the time. So just write it down. What I always suggest is that when you're listing, just add it to the end of your description of the item. I want to be in Mexico too. That would be really nice. So, ooh, Indiana Bone says Czech Republic, and soon Lego's going to be made in the USA. That's very exciting. 2028 Lego Innovation Center should be open in Virginia. That sounds like fun. No, Swag Monster, they don't normally, I think your swag am I saying it right? I might not be saying it right. I apologize. They don't go through all the items and scrutinize that much. But if it does get pulled aside, you don't want it to get held up, or someone to get extra tariffs when they don't need to. For most packages that are going to go down to the States, if you're exporting to the United States to U.S. buyers from Canada, then as long as it's under $800 right now, you're okay. But do be aware that technically it is against the law to claim that it's made in the United States if it's actually made in Bangladesh. So, Border City Thrift says they usually x-ray it and see what's in it, and something sus, they open it. Yeah, exactly. But someone could have an off day. They could be bored. They can mess with your stuff. Indian Bone says, but Canada and Denmark are working out a free trade agreement. Rumor is Lego will set up a factory in Canada. Ermigerd factory outlet. Factory outlet. That's all I think about. Indiana Bones, when I hear that, I just hear factory outlet. They're looking for Colombian salt. What? Okay, I've lost you there. Oh, Colombian. I get it. Salt. Get it. So if you don't know where it's made, just make your best guess. Make your best educated guess. So yeah. All right. Any last questions? Please feel free to share your shows. Any last questions you have, let me know. We're going to be rating into Son of the Pharaoh, who's a new seller on here. Hopefully they're still on. Yes, they're still on. Okay. Colombian flower. So we're going to go. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I love you guys so much. So he's still on. He's from Calgary. Thank you so much. Blue Golf, what's up? So we're going to go and check out a new Canadian seller. Since they're a new seller, let's bless them. Let's put a bunch of flags in the chat. Wherever you're from, put some flags. I'll be back on tomorrow morning to do my chat show. Wednesday morning show might get adjusted a bit because I'm on the road. So I might be live while I pack up stuff. So you may be just live briefly to see the hoard that I'm about to load in. Oops, forgot about my husband. About the hoard I'm about to. Yeah, I've already paid for it. So have a great night. Let's go bless this. They got 11 people in their show. It's Egyptian brass jewelry and more, unpacking treasures from Egypt. This sounds like so much fun. Okay. Love you guys so much. Have a good night. Bye for now.